Yes, 22 minutes after 8. Let's settle down for our next conversation. And this is heartbreaking, but that's the facts. Ghana is ranked as second in Africa in open defecation, with 19% of the country's population resorting to sanitation practice, deemed the riskiest of all. Shame on all of us. Remember, Joy News put together a whole show, Clean Communities, where we told you stories and did a lot of education on the ground. Sadly, situation, it's almost still the same. We keep talking about open defecation. Well, we're told that as a country, we spend about $79 million and more yearly on the control of open defecation, which poses one of the greatest dangers to human health and has fatal consequences for the most vulnerable, including children. Now, there's a project, the Greater Accra Metropolitan Area Sanitation and Water Project, which thankfully is funded by the World Bank through the International Development Agency grants, and is aimed at providing improved water and sanitation services to urban communities within its catchment areas. We want to understand more this project. That's why we've been joined by Frederick Inana, Dankwa, Greater Accra Metropolitan Area Governance and Social Accountability Specialist. That's quite long. And also Ignatius Godfred Dodoy, Development Planning Officer, La Dade Kotopon Municipal Assembly. Okay, so I am thankful that you're coming from the areas where you're coming from. Good morning to you. Welcome to the show. So can you tell us, this project, have we started? Has this hit the ground running like the politicians would normally say?
Yes, it has. Let me give you a little background.
Okay.
This project was approved by the World Bank Board in June 2013.
Okay.
And we were supposed to get this on stream immediately. We have to go to finance and get some signatures. It has to go to Parliament. It has to go to Cabinet first, then to Parliament, and all that. It took us 6 months. We were not getting any response from finance. But eventually, we got through at the last minute.
Okay.
We needed about $2.7 million as part of preparatory activities for the project. And the Ministry of Finance was supposed to give us that money. And at that time, they had some difficulties. And so it delayed for about 6 months. But eventually, we got there. And then Ministry of Finance signed, Cabinet approved, Parliament approved. And we needed to get what we call effectiveness of the grant. And so we had to go through the AG for legal opinion and so on and so forth. To cut a long story short, August 2014, we got effectiveness after almost 14 months delay.
Okay, that's long.
That's long.
Yeah.
So we just hit the ground. Okay,
wait, but hang on. This is a project that's been funded not by us as a state.
Exactly.
Does it mean the money went into the consolidated, did it go to government coffers?
The money stays with the bank, and then we draw down periodically as and when we need the money.
Okay.
So August 2014, we got effectiveness, and that meant that we could start.
So we're in the third year?
Yes.
What have we done on the ground?
Pretty not interesting in terms of provision of toilets. In fact, the key PDO or project development objective was to provide almost close to 20,000 toilets to low-income households. And so far, it's not interesting. We've done just about 1,000.
1,000 toilets?
Toilets.
Where?
In the low-income areas. We are dealing with 11 MMEs in the Greater Accra area. That's why we call it the Greater Accra Area Sanitation and Water Project.
Okay.
So this is a $150 million grant to the government. Free money, if I'll put it in quotes.
So why haven't we been able to use all this?
That is what we want.
Plenty money
we want to solicit,
for this project.
We want to solicit your help and to get the public to appreciate what we are trying to do. So
but you're building us toilets. We sure do appreciate.
Yes. We asked the MMEs to give us one low-income community.
Okay.
Yes. And they did that. In fact, subsequently, we added more. Now, the strategy was to sensitize the community to appreciate the need to have a toilet in your home. because if you don't, it's against the bylaws of the assembly. And so we did a lot of sensitization, hoping that people will then come build the toilets themselves. And it wasn't happening. We got another small grant, about $4.85 million from a GPOBA, Global Partnership for Output-Based Aid. They said that we could subsidize it by 50%. So if you want a toilet, we give you a toilet less 50%. So our slogan is toilet at half price.
Toilet at half price.
So that is what we've been preaching for the past 2 years. That any toilet you want to build in your home, in the low-income area, we will pay 50%. And so far, only 1,000 people have responded.
Oh.
And that's a difficulty for us.
So 50% is like how much?
The most expensive toilet is 4,000.
4,000 Ghana cedis.
Ghana cedis.
So that's like pay 2,000 of it.
2,000. And even that, because we are working in a low-income area, we found a way to get them to save even towards their 2,000. We got Tigo, we settled on Tigo, and then we open accounts for beneficiaries. And so on a daily or weekly basis, whatever little you get,
they can just go and deposit it and keep saving towards it.
So cumulatively, when you hit maybe about half the amount of money you need to pay, then we build a facility for you.
Oh, okay.
So with all these strategies, we're still having difficulties.
Yeah, ask us. We embarked on clean communities and the challenges down to where you are, Dade Kotopon, because we zeroed in on Kaklamadu very much. Yeah. You know, did a lot of education, and sometimes when our team went on the ground, we saw people openly defecating, and so you grab them one-on-one to still do the education and still.
Yeah, it's a reality. You know, managing the low-income community, and especially the urban poor, is multidimensional. You have to bring a lot of strategies on board, because these are people who are unemployed, they are living in a very poor condition. Some of them, their housing conditions are poor, and you want to bring them to speed with a middle income or the upper class.
So what kind of strategy are you using now?
So you have to combine a lot of strategies. For us, what we are doing right now is to hit deep into the hearts of them, that is the community. Try to talk to the stakeholders that really matter. We've engaged the clan houses, the assembly members, the unit committee members. Then we've also spoken to the churches, because if we get them at the religious level, we think that they will be able to appreciate what we brought on board. So now what we tell them is that, look, this is a facility that you can own for yourself. The law provides that we should take you on, we should prosecute you, but we are giving you an option that pay half and then own the facility.
Why don't you start prosecuting?
Of course.
Then, you know, when you get the judgment, then you can tell them, oh, but I've got this flexible way of you dealing with it.
Of
Maybe
course.
that way, that would probably work.
Yes, but you know, it is our responsibility to ensure that we bring development to the doorsteps of the people. And our task is to ensure total development. Prosecution is at the last end of the process. So you have to give them the opportunities. But if they fail to tap into the opportunities, then you can go in and prosecute. That is why we've opened the floodgate for them to tap into the resources. So day in, day out, we are on the field trying to speak to their minds to change, trying to propagate the message, trying to tell them, look, this is a nice opportunity and you can really make good use of it. So we've gotten a lot of people on board. And when we go in, for instance, we have these T-shirts, these flyers that we're sharing, these T-shirts, and it's also helping us to market, telling them that, look, own a toilet at half price. So if you see someone, anyone wearing this T-shirt, telling you that, look, we have a toilet facility and it's at half price. This is so.
So this is, wait, hang on. So this is what the Metropolitan Assembly
is doing.
Yeah. Okay.
Ours is to
why do we in the first place tolerate people to build houses without toilet facilities?
Mama, you know, we have a history in Ghana where the indigenous communities sprang up. The idea, the civilization then hasn't catch up to that particular, phenomenon where you have to require them to actually put up a toilet in their homes. Most of them are quite indigenous. They are very old, ancient houses. Some of them are living in quarters, some of them in slums and all those. If you come to La, for instance, and you go to the most developed areas, like Chado, like Laboni, like Isla, like South La, all those houses have very, very nice and unique toilet facilities. But then when you go into the indigenous areas, and like you mentioned Kaklamadu is purely a squatter community. You understand? That is why the World Bank is emphasizing on the low income, those who are living in squalor, trying to actually improve their conditions.
So why don't we just do it for free?
That's what everybody's asking. The money is free to the government of Ghana. So he says, why don't you give it to them free?
Yeah.
Now, we've bundled with this concept of free. I always cite a case where if a truck pulls up with a load of pressing iron, for example, and says, hey, anybody without an iron, come and pick one. Even those with iron will go and pick one.
Well, except that in this case,
but if you say that,
with your strategy,
yes,
you know the communities where this is needed badly,
yes,
and where it's low income. So you know that you are actually providing to people who absolutely
yes,
need it.
we want them to appreciate that a toilet is important and make a commitment so you can maintain the toilet. You know, once you put, no matter how little, 200 Ghana, 100 Ghana, whatever you put in, it gives you a sense of appreciation and the desire to maintain the facility. When it comes free, everybody will pick. We have standalone ones, as is indicated in this picture. We have a bigger picture.
Yep.
Very nice. If we say free, we can't supply them. Everybody will pick one, including those who have toilets.
Are we trying to eliminate the public toilets kind of idea where people go and then they pay something little each time they use it?
The public toilet basically was for market area, public area, for people in transit. You know, that was the idea of the public toilet. It was not meant for citizens to use as their present place for easing themselves. You know, but with time, it has become that fashionable for people to just get up and go to a public toilet. And then the management of public toilets then became a problem. You could hardly even visit a public toilet. So we're saying that you have a toilet at home. And the strategy, we even started with the kids. Trying to get a toilet at home. And in schools, we are building 260 toilets in schools in the Gama area.
But that's for free.
That's for free. That's for free.
But do we know that when we actually have the toilets that people would use, because in Kaklamadu, with clean communities, we discovered that even places where they have the public toilet, people wanted to just do it in the open.
Yes. Okay. Let me touch on that. That's why we're doing a big behavioral change campaign, of which we are soliciting your help. Let the people know that it's unacceptable. And it's just like if you say, don't throw rubbish around, provide rubbish bins, at least to let people put the rubbish inside. Yeah. It's not just saying it, that don't defecate. If the person doesn't have options, what does he do? The thing can't wait. You know. So we are providing the toilets. In fact, recently we had a World Bank mission, and the new Ministry for Sanitation and Water Resources, Honorable Ada, talked to the bank and said, look, the people in the low-income area, so far 2 years, we've just built 1,000 toilets. Let us increase the subsidy to them. And he proposed about 70%, moving from 50% to 70%.
So the people will pay
30%.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the bank has accepted that. The Ministry of Finance is doing the paperwork. Soon, that will come on stream. So these are all strategies that we are adapting to get the people.
Do we lose the money at some point if we don't take advantage quickly?
I was going to come to that.
Oh.
The JPOBA, that 4.85 million, assuming we even give all the 1,000 toilets to that small program, we were supposed to build 6,600 from that subsidy of 50%. We built 1,000. So we have about 5,000 more, 5,600 more to build. If we have built 1,000 in 2 years, and we are supposed to build that. March next year, the money goes back. And we are not going to allow that money to go back. No way. So whatever we have to do between now and March, we have to do it. So we've started the issue of large-scale packaging. We are getting big contractors on board, and then we want to allocate about 15,000 toilets to the contractors to just go and build. We want to spend our energies trying to recover the money from the beneficiaries rather than going around and hammering and hammering. We are going to build for them whilst they take time and pay off.
Oh, okay.
So that's also a new strategy the ministry is adapting.
Okay. All right. Any final words you want to share? I just want to say good luck to you.
We want to tell the beneficiaries that, look, this is a facility that is very affordable. Unlike the 50-50 that we were doing, we've changed strategy. The fact of the matter is that come and just pay a deposit, something small, and we are going to give the facility to you.
Okay.
Then we'll
So
find
how
a
do
way
they
of
get in
taking-
touch with you? Are you?
Yes, we have.
Are you present in all these communities that we're talking about?
Yes, we are dealing with 11 MMDs, and we have focal persons in all 11 MMDs. So for Ladede Kotopo, for instance, if you want a toilet, you just have to call 020 90 91 700. Then when if you look at this particular advert, we have all the contacts here.
Okay.
And then we've been advertising in the dailies.
It would be good to just give us, like
The dailies,
just a number that anybody from any of these places can reach.
Okay, for Accra metropolitan area, you can call.
No, just give them the PCU,
One
the project unit number. Then
050 161 9361. And then 050 161 9359.
Okay.
This is for the PCU.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I wish you well. But I know that this is something that we are also passionate about.
Sure.
So we definitely would also continue
Mama,
talking
before we
about
go, you may have to be an ambassador. So we have to give you one T-shirt for you to propagating the message
okay,
for us.
absolutely.
Yeah, we want to solicit your help, those in the media. Without you, we can't do that. What you did for Galamsey, we want you to do that for sanitation. The president says Accra should be one of the neatest cities in Africa.
Yeah.
And we all have to help in this agenda.
Yeah, definitely. I've spent a toilet day, I think 2 years ago, at a public facility, which is also still in the Greater Accra region, somewhere around Jamestown. So I can absolutely understand what you're doing, and that's a cause that I want to add my voice to.
Sure.
So it's a pleasure. Thank you for the T-shirt, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Frederick Nana Dankwa is Greater Accra Metropolitan Area Governance and Social Accountability Specialist, and Ignatius Godfred Dodo is Development Planning Officer with the Ladede Kotopo Municipal Assembly. They're not doing the half-price toilets any longer. It's almost 70-30. So just give them a call and get a toilet in your home.